What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know and Things That Are Not Taught in Detail for Sure. Today's lesson, I will be giving you the background story of the film known as New Jack City. Did you know it started with a family that came from rural Arkansas known as the Chamberlain Brothers? Larry, Billy, Willie, and Otis were 4 children out of the 14 born in Lees County, Arkansas in the 1980s. They grew up in a poverty, low-income area, and during the Great Migration due to the crops going on down south, they began to move to Detroit to look for the prosperity. Billy, the big brother, got the idea to start moving marijuana early in the day. He learned that Detroit was an incredibly successful market due to they needed a steady product and clientele. If you do not know, around the 80s around this country, that's when crack cocaine really started to hit the market. What these brothers did was they learned how to commercialize it. They were so successful that they marketed, escort themselves, and learned how to monetize it. They had buildings, infrastructure, and they used a corporate style of structure. What they did was that the lower income projects around the area, they literally had a market where you had to come shop like you shop at Kroger's. Even though the act they doing was terrible, you must understand these brothers were no longer doing the one deal. They learned how to market themselves. They had runners, and they even had the police on payroll. This Chambers Brothers organization was so strong in this country that literally the Detroit Police Department could not stop them. They were making so much money that they were paying black taxes, inspiring the youth, exploiting things, and were giving multiple cash offers. The Chamberlain Brothers were so successful that they began to get national attention. Mind you, you had the Detroit mass automobiles leaving the country. You had unheard of poverty rates inside of our inner cities, and you had mass incarceration starting to begin. The Chamberlain Brothers gained notoriety because President Bill Clinton had to speak on them. He had to say, we have to find a way to stop these brothers. They were Detroit versus the Chamberlain Brothers. What had happened was the police union started to make the No Crack Crew. The No Crack Crew was a kind of a violent organization going against the Chamberlain Brothers. Most people don't realize at the time that these police departments were working off duties, trying to find ways to get crack off the street. They would rob them, beat them down. Some of them had racist remarks, but they did anything they could to deter the crack movement from growing or spawning. The Chamberlain Brothers were so strong that they gained more power, more notoriety, and began to take over more land inside of the Midwest. Normal that most people don't know, the Chamberlain Brothers were mostly attacking the white communities. So when crack hit those communities so heavily, that is when you begin to see the No Crack Crew and the Detroit Police Department join in unison to stop these brothers. They had almost a 10-year run, and it took a police hotline to give now we know it's a snitching hotline, as they called it, where you can literally give tips on the Chamberlain Brothers and where they come from. So let's think about this for a second. These 4 brothers were so strong that the Detroit Police, the No Crack Crew, a tip helpline, and the United States government had to stop these brothers from transforming. They implemented, not bragging on it, the ultimate drug dealing network. They had a system, they had it corporatized, and they had a healthy crime organization. It did not stop until the early 1990s that these brothers were completely disbanded, when they had the Detroit Crime Unit and they had to push them out of Detroit. That is why most housing project structures have been demolished to this day. You must give credit to the Chamberlain Brothers. Most people don't realize the brothers are still incarcerated until this day. Many of them are in a top-notch drill-style organization prison that are in California. The Detroit Police Department had to confiscate all their land, all of their money, all of their wealth, all of their cars. And when we grew up later, you began to see the film New Jack City spurn after them. They were based out of Detroit, not New York City. The Chamberlain Brothers were the first cartel to actually last for over 5+ years successfully and have multiple organizations. The Chamberlain brothers outbeat the U.S. in certain ways for years, and they outbeat the police departments. The Chamberlain brothers, imagine they would have used all these things for positive notions. They could have changed the way many crews inside the Black America were built. I wanted to give an inside scoop on how this poverty-stricken family had to use whatever they could to build resources, because throughout Arkansas, Leeds County, Arkansas, their family could not be sustained. All right, it's your boy King Crowder. Check him back out. Hopefully you learned something today about our historical lesson about the brothers known as New Jack City Offering. Please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you learned something today. It's your boy checking out. Peace.